Shut up and sit down.
Order, order. Tonight we are hearing the case of the people versus Santa Jaws. I would like to call forth two character witnesses, two nerds.
And if you like our silly videos, then please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that bell thing. Not this bell thing, that bell thing next to the subscribe button. Thank you.
Ho, 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 you son of a fish.
So Santa Jaws is about a couple of small-town nerds who are crazy into comic books, aren't we all? And they design a new comic book called Santa Jaws. But in a moment of craziness, with a magic pen, Santa Jaws is created as a real monster. And the rest of the movie sees these small-town nerds and their family trying to stop Santa Jaws.
No!
So clearly it's a ridiculous premise, right? It's a shark with a Santa hat on its fin that was created by a magic pen from a comic book. Okay, but if we can get past that, if we can park that for a second, what I love about this movie is that the writers have actually created a world and some rules for Santa Jaws. So Santa Jaws isn't just swimming around the bay like a traditional Jaws eating people. Santa Jaws is only lured to Christmassy things. He will only attack Christmas. So the water is chummed with eggnog. That was one of our favourite moments in the entire movie.
That was so ridiculous.
Yeah, a whole flask of eggnog falls into the water and attracts Santa Jaws. He actually ends up being wrapped in Christmas lights. His teeth are made from broken Christmas tree ornaments. And at one point he even gains like a narwhal-style horn made from a broken candy cane.
That was my favourite thing. They realised that Santa Jaws, who identifies as female, strong female protagonist in this one, I like the representation, they realised that Santa Jaws is only vulnerable to Christmas. But all the Christmas stuff they throw at her to try to kill her initially only makes her stronger.
And more Christmassy.
So they chum the water with eggnog to attract her. They try to strangle her with... I think the Christmas lights were an accident. She got tangled up in them. They decided to make bombs out of Christmas tree baubles after they took her teeth away. But then the baubles became her teeth. And then they tried to stab her with a candy cane, but it became a narwhal horn.
Yes.
And that was where I really lost it.
Another festive twist was they decide that what's the perfect way to lure a Christmas-obsessed shark in, but also destroy it? Maybe if you took a Christmas turkey, a delicious roast turkey, and filled it with explosives. There's just so many really, really fun moments. But the one thing I would say is that the cast don't act as if they're in a cheesy, crappy B-movie horror film. They act as if they're trying to create something really, really special. Like, they put every ounce of their being into every scene, and it really shows. Like, the special effects actually look great. It doesn't rely on just crappy CGI like something like Sharknado does. Like, when you see the shark, and most of the time, they've clearly learned from every monster movie, most of the time you only see the dorsal fin with its happy, festive Santa hat.
How does that stay on?
Yeah, but that's not CGI. That's an actual thing being pulled through the water with a dorsal fin and a Santa hat. So, like, you know, most of the time, the special effects are great. The soundtrack as well. It has this kind of ominous, Christmassy style score that was clearly created for the movie. Like, what horror B-movie has an actual orchestral score created for it?
An actual orchestra did the music for Santa Jaws.
Yes.
And they did a really good job.
I think that was the thing that came through so loud and clear to me throughout Santa Jaws was, regardless of how silly and ridiculous the premise for the movie was, everybody who was working on it seemed to be putting in 110%. And, you know, it didn't make it Oscar-winning material, clearly, but it just made it a really, really fun sit.
So fun. Genuinely fun. Not even you're laughing at it. Like, you're fully on board. I mean, obviously it's not believable, it's not realistic, but you can really feel how much effort has gone in, and the performances are incredible, even from the kid actors.
Yeah. And like before we watched this, and we were 2 years too late for Santa Jaws. It came out in 2018 and we saw it in 2020. But, there had been a flood of people on Twitter who were live streaming when they were watching it. There were a ton of calls for a sequel. There were people writing 10 out of 10 reviews on IMDb that are still up there. And, some of it may be sarcasm, sure, like that's the internet. But I also think there were people who genuinely went into this with really low expectations, and it just, it raised the bar significantly on what they were hoping for. And what more can we wish for than that?
So fun. You have to watch it.
Silence! I've heard enough about these crazy characters. Now I wish you to talk about the real crime that occurred here. Who stole the show?
So I think for us, the person who stole the show in Santa Jaws, and this is really hard because honestly, there was some great acting in Santa Jaws.
Yes,
I hope you don't
genuinely.
I hope you don't think from our accents that we're being sarcastic in any way here, because there was some great acting in Santa Jaws. But for me personally, Reid Miller, who played Cody, I think was the best of the best. He was the lead character, the boy who created Santa Jaws, and he just kept us laughing but also engaged through the entire movie. So Reid Miller, I think, put out a blockbuster performance in a movie that should never have warranted that, but I'm so glad it did.
And his journey, starting from being a petulant teen at the beginning, mad at his parents about nothing, and at the end, he rose to the occasion and was working to be the hero of it. And you believed that whole journey. It was incredible.
Absolutely.
Order! Order! I have made my decision and I now present the Nerdict. Santa Jaws is a ridiculous movie. It has an insane premise. However, the cast made it clear that they believed in this movie. They put their hearts and their candy canes into everything they had. This movie became more than the sum of its parts, and you could not spend a more fun couple of hours if you're feeling festive. We award this incredible, ridiculous movie 3 stars. Thank you for watching. You are sentenced to come back tomorrow after you have liked and subscribed. This is a life sentence.
Shut up and sit down.